Hey crafty family, I'm back again and I'm finally getting to do the little cute adorable teacup to show you how to make it. It's so beautiful. I did two of them. This one, I kind of, it's funny because the girl that I got the video from, Linda Parker, she did hers with this type of bottom where it was really small just to clean it up, but I kind of dig this little bottom that I put on here where it was a little bigger, and so I think I like that better. It gives it a little bit more substantial base, and I think it looks better in my opinion. I don't know, what do you think? I think it looks better, but I did one with the envelope punch board and one without the envelope punch board. Same result. I'm going to show you how to do that because I don't want to leave out anybody that doesn't have an envelope punch board. However, if you don't have an envelope punch board, it does make it easy if you have some sort of circle punch. This is a 1-inch circle punch. It worked out well. I used that for this one. And like I said, the only difference is I put like a bigger base on this one, which I kind of dig. I like that. So I'm going to show you how to make it. These are really cute. You could put candy in them. You could give them as gifts at Christmas. I'm going to like this one I decorated like quickly, but I'll show you on one where I emboss it and everything like this. This one I embossed it. So I'll emboss the one that I do, one of the ones I do, and then the other one I'm just going to do. So the first one I'm going to do with the envelope punch board, and and that one I'll show you, how I embossed it. Yeah, I'll do that one. You don't have to emboss it. You can put paper, little panels of paper on it. You can paint it. You can just do this and put a stamp on it. You can put stickers on it, glitter on it. You decorate it however you want to. You don't have to emboss it, but I know that you guys will probably enjoy me showing you how to emboss it. So I want to at least show you that once, and then I'll show you quickly, at least the start of one, how to do it without, the envelope punch board. Just because, if you have the envelope punch board, you can do it this way. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's very easy, very easy. Okay, so what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock, and I'm using red because I want to make them Christmassy. So you're going to use a piece of cardstock that measures 8 inches by 5.5, okay? 8 inches by 5.5, and then you're going to put it into a scoreboard, or you're going to use a ruler, okay, and a scoring tool or a stylus of some sort. You could do it that way if you don't have a scoreboard, so you don't have to have a scoreboard. You're going to put it long ways. This is what I say when I say long ways. This is what I mean, long ways, and then short ways, which would be the short way at the top. That's how I say it because I'm weird. Let me make sure you're in frame. You are. Okay, good. Okay, so you're going to put it long ways, and you're going to score it at 1 1/4. So 1 1/4. You're going to score it. Then you're going to score it at 2 1/2. Then you're going to score it at 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Then you're going to score it at 5. Then you're going to score it at 6 1/4. Hopefully I'll remember when I edit it to put the numbers on the screen. So 6 1/4, and then 7 1/2, which will leave you this little, like, section here, little section. Okay, hopefully you could see the score marks. Okay, then you're going to flip it to the short side. Okay, and you're going to score it at 1 1/8. So 1 1/8. And 3 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always have to do that just to be sure because I suck at measuring. And that's all the scoring you're going to need to do. So you can put your scoreboard away. Okay. From here, I'm going to get this out. This is the envelope punch board. From here, you're going to fold on all your score lines. Just fold them like this, going over, like into a circle almost. You're just going to fold them all. Makes the next part easier. Then you're going to fold the ones here. Okay. So you're just going to fold them kind of all going in the same kind of directions. They're all going this way or this way into each other. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you are going to punch. I'm trying to remember if I do this right. If I screw up, I apologize. I've only made 2 of them, so and I'm trying not to have to reference the video because I tried to write everything down. Okay, so you're going to take, now there's a bigger side here, and this is the smaller side. You're going to be punching, the smaller side will be the bottom, like the little section down here, the scored little section. That we're going to say is the bottom. So you're going to take the bottom, you're going to take your envelope punch board, and on this score line right here is going to be the center of where you punch. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in, and if you can see, I'm going to try to show you this. I'm actually going to pencil the score line so you can see. Okay, that's the score line, that pencil. Okay, you're going to put it into the punch board so it goes into the center of where you punch, and you see that metal thing in there? I'm hoping. Let me make sure you could see this. Okay. Do you see the metal thing in there? You're going to punch it like that, and you're going to do that all the way down. When I show you, that's where you're going to be lining up the score line. Whenever I say, you know, you're going to have to fold and punch, fold and punch. I'll show you what I mean, but that's the score line. It's going to go right into the center. If it's like a hair off, it's not going, you're not going to die. It's going to be fine. Just do it basically the same all the way down. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that. You're going to punch it. You're going to fold it over. And then here's the score line on the back side. You're going to do the same thing. Line up that score line. You know, you're punching through 2 layers of paper. Okay? Take it out. Fold it over. Don't keep it folded like this. Fold it on like that, flat, so it's only punching through 2 papers. Put it back in. Punch it. You don't need 2 hands. Unfold it, and then fold it onto the next one. Put it in. Line it up. Make sure I'm lined up here. My paper's going wonky. Well, that's okay. Okay. Punch it. Unfold. Fold the next one. Punch it. You get the drift all the way down. Unfold and then fold. Put it in. Punch it. Unfold. And then you're going to even do this little section here, because this is like the little tiny section. You're even going to fold that over and punch it. So you have this really pretty pattern here going on right here. Okay? Okay, so now what you're going to do is, I save these because this is a poinsettia leaf. So I'm going to save it. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, now what you're going to do, on the little section here, the tiniest section at the end that when you scored, it gave you this tiny section here, you're going to cut that section off where it's scored. So it'll be like that. And then you're just going to cut it right to the tip of the little punched section so it's kind of cleaned up. If I can get the scissors straight and stop shaking. Like that. So basically you're just cutting that whole section off, and then you're going to cut off the top part. So all you're going to have left is a center tab. That's what we're going to call it. Is the tab. Now once you get that like that, I want you to just snip the corner so it's kind of wedged a little bit more. So it should look like a wedge tab. So if you guys have ever made something like a box or whatever, and you know how you like cut into the wedge so that it's like a tab, because this is what's going to connect. Okay? Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to fold this over, and we're going to put tape. You can use liquid adhesive, but double-sided is easier. And you're going to run a piece of tape underneath, like this is the longer section. Hold on. This is the longer section. Like I said, this is the bottom section. That score line that's right here, okay? This score line right here. Right underneath of it, you know, you can give yourself 1/8 of an inch under it or whatever. You're going to run your double-sided tape. It's just to hold down right up to the tab, but not on the tab, before the score of the tab, like this. Okay? Just like that. Hopefully that shows up. Then you're going to do it at the top, up here. You're going to run your tape like that, like so. So it should look like that. Then you're going to turn it to the side. You're going to flip over your tab. Okay, you want it to be on the back side of the tab. You're going to run a piece of score tape just anywhere in that tab. Okay, mine went over just a little bit, which I could fold it over, but whatever. Whatevs. It don't matter. Okay, now, first thing you're going to do is burnish down your tape. I've always say that, or at least I try to, because score tape only works if you burnish it down. If you ever have trouble getting it up and the whole tape is coming up and it's not sticking, it's because you need to burnish it down. It's important to, and I could take the handle of scissors, take your bone folder. It's important to burnish down your score tape in order for it to not peel the whole tape up when you try to peel the backing up. Then it makes it much easier, because people, I sit there, see them struggle. It makes it easier when it's burnished down, because then you can easily pick off the backing very easily. Okay, so you're going to take off, well, if it'll actually come up in one piece. See, that one didn't work. I didn't burnish that side down, so I'm going to have to actually replace that with a better piece of tape. See, don't do what I did. Make sure you burnish it all the way down. See, learn from my mistakes. Burnish. Dig that sucker. There we go. Okay. When you fold this over, because that's what we're going to do, the side of the tab, you can push it all the way down. So you can, you know, push it all the way down. But over here on this last side, don't push it all the way down. Don't shove it all the way down. I'll show you why. When you take off your tab tape, that's the part where it's going to go in that little area. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap it around and you're going to stick it in there. Give it a good stick. You're going to stick it in there, and it's going to butt up against the score line. And then you're going to push everything down from the inside and the outside. Did that make sense? So you should be left with like this little crown, which actually it's upside down because it's going to go like that, but not yet. So everything's stuck down and it should look like this. The next thing you're going to do is on all your little score lines that go around the bottom with the design here, you're going to cut at every score line. Cut. All the way around, so that all your, now you have flaps. Now you're flappy. Now you're flapping. You're flippy flappy. Now what you're going to do is open up your flaps a little so you can get to what you're doing. You're going to choose one of your tabs, and on the top of it, not this side, on the, like, fold it over like that side, top. You're going to throw a piece of tape down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Burnish it down so that you can get it off. Take the backing off, and the one to the opposite side, which would be this one, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take, obviously, the tape side down, and right where they start to, like, you see how they're kind of square up here? They're like squarish. You're going to kind of meet it so right before they start to curve, get out of the way, flaps, dude. Right before they start to curve in, you're going to meet the two so that the two flat sides kind of go together like that. So that's what it should look like. It should almost make a circle, like a stop sign. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. And then you're going to take a piece of tape and you're going to put it on another one. And if you I guess you could put it on the bottom. Doesn't matter as long as you're putting that one onto the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only need tape on one side. So it doesn't matter which side, I guess, as long as you're putting the other piece on top. So then you're going to go across again and put another, and do the same thing, make a stop sign, and you're going to poke it from the bottom. Makes it easier. Okay, now she doesn't do this, but I do this. I take a piece of score tape at this point and put it onto here so that when I do these two flaps, I can push them down onto there just to give it a little extra security. You don't have to do that. You could do it to the other one layer too if you want to. So you do that. See, like that didn't stick down real well because I didn't burnish it, but it's kind of hard to burnish it on this. And then you're going to put your tape, doesn't matter which side, just as long as this flap goes down before that flap. Burnish your tape down. Pick your tape off. And then you're going to marry them up together like a stop sign, poke them in the middle, and push them down. And voila! There's your base of your teacup. Very simple, does not take long to put this together at all. Okay, now we're going to cut the circle, and I forget what size this is, so I'm going to use this and try to trace this circle because I like this size. And I'll show, the diameter of that is, and I had to do this freehand, it's 2 inches. So it's a 2-inch circle. If you want yours to have that little base, it's a 2-inch circle. So I'm going to attempt to not, I don't know how well I'm going to do with this. Yeah. I might have to move it so I can see. You might, well, it might help if I actually did it where it was going to be on the paper and not off the paper. Okay. Anyway, if you have a 2-inch hole punch, which I wish I had, like, I wish I had a bunch of circle punches of different sizes because there's so many things where I needed a circle punch and I was just like, I don't have a circle punch. And it's really hard to sometimes do some of these things because I suck at cutting circles. It's not my favorite. And I'm like getting pencil marks all over my pretty pink thing. Good enough. I'll have to sit and erase that later. I'll do it later. Not going to do it now. Okay. So that'll be that circle. I'm going to cut a square around it. And I'm going to attempt to cut a circle, which I really suck at. I have a hard enough time just cutting a square, let alone a circle. This is like watching paint dry. I'm sure you guys are like, oh, thrilling. She's cutting out a circle. We got more circles to cut out. This ain't the only one. Okay. So then you can erase your pencil marks if you don't want them to show up. Excuse me. All right. Now I took a little, what do you call it? Quick dry adhesive. You can use the tape. It doesn't matter. You're going to put a little glue. And you're going to pop this on as evenly as possible and hope for the best. Which, come on now. I can't be that bad at this. Hold still. It's probably better with the tape, honestly. It's quicker. Okay. There is your base. Voila! Cute! Cute! Look at that. All right. Now you're going to make your handle, which I hate making because this is the biggest pain in the ass part of the whole project, honestly. What I used to make my handle was, let me make sure it's right. Yeah. What I used, and I'll tell you the diameters and all that so that you can find something that matches similarly. But here's what I did. I used this because it was the right diameter, which is 2 inches again. So I could have used this to cut my circle instead of using this. Duh. Didn't think of that. So you're going to do a 2-inch circle. If you have a hole punch, fantastic. If you have a hole punch, I just made a mess out of that. If you have a hole punch, what you're going to do is you're going to cut out your 2-inch circle, and then in the center of that, you're going to cut out your other circle, which I'm going to use the diameter of this because you want like a donut shape. And the diameter of this is, let's say, I think it's like 1 1/4 kind of. It's like slightly over 1 1/4. So hold on. It's slightly over 1 1/4. So you can use like 1 1/2. I think would be better, would be best. Probably 1 1/2 would be best because this is going to be a slightly bigger. I'm probably going to have to cut outside of the line a little bit, so it'll be more like 1.5. So you're going to use a 2-inch circle and then 1.5. And if you punch it, you would punch the circle out and then you would punch in the center of it your 1.5. So I'm just going to use this because it's what I got. Use what you got, people. I'm sure you find something, a medicine bottle of the right diameters that you need. So seriously, you could do it. See, and that's what you should have. And you're going to cut that out. Can you see that? So again, let's watch paint dry, shall we? As I cut out 2 circles, not just 1, 2. And it's best when you're cutting circles to move the paper, not the scissors. And try to do it not like, do it in like one long stroke as you move the paper, slowly be pressing down on the scissors. I found that I get a little bit better results, less choppy. Go all the way. Am I doing this right? Can you see? And you just take your time and you'll get a better circle. I mean, me, I can't cut very well, but I do, you know, if I do this and I take my time, it comes out better. Now to get the center out, I take these scissors, because they're little itty bitty, poke a hole in the middle, and then I start slowly cutting around until I get to that center circle that I'm going to be cutting on, so that it doesn't look choppy. And of course these are smaller scissors, so I have to up and down, you know, cut with them more than I would larger scissors, but they're easier to work with, honestly. These are my fussy cutting scissors. They hurt my hands after a while though, because they're metal. And then you're going to cut all the way around as neatly as possible and make your little donut. Good enough. I'm going to erase any pencil marks. Oh, I forgot to mention, and see, I knew I was going to do this. I'm going to have to emboss the other one. Totally forgot to do that. Obviously, when you are doing this, you're not going to decorate it. If you're going to stamp it or do anything where you have to do it on a flat paper, before you bring it together, that's when you're going to decorate the big panel in the center all the way down. If you're going to decorate it afterwards, you're going to have to use stickers or gluing paper on to do it this way. So if you accidentally do like I did and just put it all together and forgot to do the embossing, I'll do it on the next one. You would use like paper. You would just measure what size paper to do like a decorative paper, or you can like put stickers or stuff like that. But if you need to emboss or stamp down on it, you're going to have to do it when it's flat. So you don't need this circle, you don't need this scrap. All you need is the donut. Now, this is the part that drives me nuts, because she made it look really easy, and every time I did it, it did not come out the way hers did. She had put it on her scoreboard and like made like a little notch in the center of it and like did this thing, and I'll see if I can do it, where she did like 2 score marks that were like a 1/4 inch apart. And then right down here did the same thing. I know that probably doesn't make sense because I don't understand what I'm doing either. But I guess she tried to center the circle on one of the like I centered it at the 5-inch mark as much as I could. And then right on either side, 1/8 of an inch on either side, and then 1/8 of an inch on either side. And then supposedly you can make this little fold and it should come together. And that one actually did kind of come together, kind of. So that it looks like that, where you have like 2 flat sides, but she didn't explain exactly how to get it on the scoreboard properly. So I really don't know what to tell you. She didn't really explain. She just said, put it on your scoreboard, mark it there, mark it there, mark it there, mark it there, and then fold it. But if you mark it off, it's not going to fold up evenly. Do you know what I mean? So you got to play with that part. There is an easier way, and I think I found an easier way, but I'm not sure if that was a fluke. I'll show you on the next one. So basically, you want it to be where you have flat, but yet it's even when you come around here for the most part. I mean, I hand cut it, so of course it's never going to be perfectly even. So then you're going to take some glue, and for this you want some wet glue. And you're going to put a little bit of glue right in the center, not all the way. And then just hold it together there for a second, just in the center. You're not going to do all the way down, because obviously it's got to come up to a opening if you have this flat part to meet against the cup. If that makes any sense. You just want to hold together the side of the handle. And of course, like I said, mine's not perfect because it's hand cut. Okay, then you're going to find where the seam is, which is right here. And I usually do it like like on the panel of the seam right here. Or you could do it like right here, which I'll probably do it right here, so that the seam is in the back. And you're going to want to put your handle on, which my handle, it goes to the bottom, but it starts to curve, which is okay by me because at least the top part will attach okay. You just got to play with it a little bit. It's a little finicky, but if you play with it, you can get it on. That sounded really dirty. If you play with it, you can get it on. Let's get it on. Okay, so then you're going to basically attempt to push and hold this down with your phalanges. Fingers. That's what phalanges are if you don't know. If you don't watch Friends, I'm an absolute Friends fanatic. So if you've watched Friends, then you know what phalanges are. This is really difficult, so I'm going to take a pencil, stick it in that little opening. It might be easier to close this part that we closed beforehand afterwards, because then you can separate it and put your fingers in there, your phalanges. And like, come on now. I'm having just all kinds of trouble. This sucker does not want to cooperate whatsoever. Yeah, it would have been easier if that was open, I'm noticing. Alright, I might have to use hot glue. I think hot glue would have been better. I'm going to heat up my hot glue because the next time I'm using the damn hot glue. Shut off. Okay, that's kind of on there. Quick dry works pretty good. Alright. Yeah. Come on. See, it's not going to work. I'm going to have to hot glue this on. Screw this. Don't use wet glue because that's like a nightmare. Use hot glue or tape. Here, I'll put some tape on it. Screw that. Screw that noise. I'll put some tape. I can't sit here all day holding a teacup handle on. I'll go crazy insane. I have no patience for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Besides, it's not like you're going to be picking it up from the handle with a lot of treats in it. At least you shouldn't anyway. Did I get that even on there? No. Come on. Such an idiot. Get on there, you pain in the ass. Get on there. Come on, please. I'm getting annoyed with you. I hate you. Oh my God. Because it's like impossible to burnish this tape down. I've already like ruined my handle. Definitely don't use wet glue. Use hot glue for that part, for the handle. You'll save yourself this headache and, you know, there we go. Okay. Now let's see if I can fix this crap. One there. One there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. It's stuck down almost. Now I'm moving it around too much. Come on. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. There we go. That's the best it's going to get for now. Because I can't really burnish it. Yeah, definitely don't pinch this handle together with glue until after you've got this handle down, because it'll definitely make it easier. All right. Anyway, there's the cup. Yay! All done. Now, you can also, which I will show you more on the other one. Hold on a second. Let me grab something. You can also, yep, unprepared. There we go. You can also take an adorkable little doily. Obviously, you can spray it to match color-wise. And you could glue that to the bottom. You can put another piece of decorative paper and like cut a decorative edge and then put that on top of there and then put this. That would be really cute. So how cute is that? Adorable. Oh my God. So now we're going to make another one without the envelope punch board. I will remember to emboss this one because if I don't, you have permission to smack me. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Done with that one. Now we're going to find my other piece of paper, which I lost in the shuffle. Are you kidding me? What did I do? Leave it to me to lose my paper. You got, is this the paper and I cut the circles out of it? I did, didn't I? All right. So anyway, we're going to cut a new piece of paper because I used that paper to cut my cycles. And I lost the tip to my glue. I'm a hot mess over here. Woohoo! Hot mess. Let me move that. Now we got to cut paper. I had that all done already, but you know how I am. Okay, so we need an 8. You can get 2 teacups out of 1 piece of standard cardstock if you cut it correctly. Let's see if I screw this up. Because you need it to be 8. So you're going to cut on the short side against the thingy so that you're cutting off that 1/2 inch because it's an 8.5 by 11 paper. So you're cutting off a 1/2 inch because it's 8 on the 8.5 side. Okay, so you cut off a 1/2 inch and then you turn it and you cut it at 5.5, and that'll give you 2 teacups. 2 teacups. 2 equal paper, 2 equal papers make equal, yep, I can't speak. 2 equal papers equals 2 equal teacups. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, and then we're going to score like we did before, and that rhymed. Okay, and then we're going to score. You're going to put it long ways. It's going to start off the same. Score at 1 1/4. So we're doing this again. So you get double whammy. 2 1/2. 2 1/2. 2 1/2. 3 3/4. 3 3/4. And then 5. 6 1/4. And 7 1/2. Which will leave you that little, like almost about 1/2 inch tab. Okay? Flip it to the short side and score it at 1 1/8 and 3 5/8. 3 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be, whoa, let's score it properly here, crazy person. Okay, don't need your scoreboard anymore. Now you're going to fold up all your lines like you did before. Foldy, foldy, bendy, bendy. Fun, fun. Now, where'd it go? Circle punch. This is where your circle punch will come in. Handy. Now don't forget, your shorter side, which is your bottom, is going to be on this side, unless you want to do it this way. I mean, you can, doesn't matter. I like it on this side, because that's the side you're going to, it's on that crease that you're going to start your punching. You're going to fold the little side over with the circle punch, so you can see it. Most of the time you can see through the bottom of it. You're going to line it up so that, and I'm going to show you this because I'm going to mark the score line. I'm going to mark the score line so you can see. You're going to put in the circle punch. If I can see and get it in there. And you're going to put it in like 1/3 of the way, like that. And you're going to line it up so that the score line is in the center. Does that make sense to you guys? And then you're going to punch it so that you get that pattern, which is very similar to the other pattern. You're going to fold and you're going to do it again all the way down, and you're going to basically eyeball 1/3 of the circle, keeping the score line in the center and giving it a punch. Whoa, they're going flying everywhere. If it's not like this is a little bit bigger than this one, it's not going to matter at the end, because honestly, you really don't see that. That just gives it its little beveled bottom. If it's off, like I said, you're not going to really see it. You just want to do the best you can. It'll be fine, I promise. It'll still look beautimous. It'll be fantastical. So we're lining up our punch. Pieces are flying everywhere. But that's why you kind of need a circle punch. But even if you don't have a circle punch, you can cut out a little notch. Just try to keep it even. Maybe draw it in. Use, you know, something circular to draw it, like, you know, like this or whatever. Find something circular. You know what I'm saying? You do not even need a punch. Just a pair of scissors and you could definitely do this. It's not rocket science. It will be fine. I promise. You'll get through it. We'll do it together. We'll go to a support group for punchless people. And then you do the edge on here. I believe we did the edge. I don't remember. Okay, I've got punch pieces. I'm going to make flowers out of those, so they're flying all over my room. Okay, so that's what you should have. Looks very similar to the other one, so you don't need the envelope punch board. You just need a cheap punch or scissors. Okay, now we're going to cut off the little endy-doos. We're going to cut it. I mean, you don't have to cut it on, if you know you got to cut it here, so you might as well just cut it from the top of that circle on the small, tiny side, on the tab side, to the bottom. So that's really what you got to do. And then you're going to cut off this whole triangle from this score line up. And then we're going to make our little wedges. Remember I talked about the wedges? You're just going to wedge it there so it tapers in, is a better word for it. So there's your taper. Throw away your scraps. Okay, now is when you are going to decorate it. Flip it over. That's because this panel in the center is what's going to show. So I'm going to shut off the camera for a minute. I'm going to pick out a stamp that I want to use, get my stuff together so that you guys aren't like, you're unprepared again. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and I had already finished this, and this part of the video did not, somehow disappeared in the uploading process. So it's actually the next day because I got frustrated and wanted to throw my camera and my computer and everything I own out the window because I was so mad because I already finished the cup and everything and thought I had videoed everything. Yeah, it's big mess. But anyway, this is where it left off, so we're going to do it. These are the stamps I chose. Now you're going to pick stamps that are going to either have one continuous pattern go across it, would be kind of cool. You could do like, you know, going across all the panels, or you could do like individual, because this is the panels that I'm talking about, because that's going to go inside. But there's these little, you know, the folded sections where it's going to go around as a cup. These are your panels here. So I'm going to leave it flat. So you're going to want to, if you're going to emboss or stamp, you're going to want to do it, you know, you could do it on the individual panels, or you can have like a continual. If you try to do like a picture and it's on a panel that bends, it might not look as good, but like, or like one object. But if you do like a flowing pattern, like vines or, you know, flowers, that kind of like a bigger thing that wraps around, then it'll look cool. But I'm just going to do individual stamps, and I'm going to use embossing glue, basically is what it is. I'm going to use some embossing glue, and I'm going to emboss this glue pad. I don't really care for this glue pad because it dries up. So I'm going to just put a pattern on each one. I keep having to put glue on it every time I use it, which I'm not really thrilled about that. Because, you know, I can use it like 4 or 5 times and then I have to buy more glue for it, which is not exactly what I want to have to do, because the glue runs out. So hopefully I have enough on here to get some good impressions, but you know what I mean? So you're just gonna, I'm doing it all the same color. If you were doing each one a different embossing color, obviously you would stamp the embossing ink down and then put your embossing powder on that one panel. And so, but since I'm doing all one, I'm going to just do, obviously, like this, like so. And you just want to get a layer on there and then tap off the excess, which I should have used my embossing buddy, but I always forget to do that. I'm going to cover the glue before I end up with embossing powder all over it, if I can get the thing on. Yeah, this essential glue pad, I don't care for it. You can use ink. The stress inks work well as embossing, but you gotta, sorry, I gotta blow on this. You just gotta be a little quicker. Like the ink, the glue you can let sit for a few minutes and stamp a few things and it's not gonna dry up. Ink, you gotta be, you know, stamp it and then put your embossing powder on it pretty quickly. At least that's what I've found. And embossing powder will get all over the place regardless of what you do. It just does. Like I've got it everywhere. As much as you try to clean it, it just likes to go woohoo all over your desk. I don't know why. So I usually try to, before I turn the dryer on, the heat gun on to heat this, I try to get any excess so it doesn't fly further back into my desk and I end up with a mess like all the way back there that I can't get to later. Okay. So once you get all the embossing powder on, now's the time, if you did use an embossing buddy or didn't, to take a brush of some sort and brush away at any embossing powder that is hanging about, not on your stamped images. Like if there's some embossing powder in areas you don't want it to be, then now's the time to go through and remove it carefully, without disturbing your, you know, your pictures, your stamps, whatever. There's like a little spot there where I didn't get any embossing powder at all. Don't know why. And I just messed up one of them. That's all right. Be more careful. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you guys I'm sure know how to emboss. If you don't, there's a 500,000 videos out there. My desk is so disgusting. So once you've gotten it cleaned up how you want it, you've got the excess off of your, every time I blow, instead of air, I end up spitting on my projects. Do you do that too? It's like, I blow air and spit comes out, no matter how hard I try. And I'm not necessarily much of a spitty person when I talk or anything. It's just, I can't seem to blow air out of my mouth without spit coming out. Okay, good enough. So now what you're going to do is take your heat gun. I usually try to keep mine on low, if everything doesn't fall on the floor, which is happening right now because my room is a disaster and my heat gun is caught under my chair as usual. There we go. I put it on low and I let it heat up for a second and get really hot. I don't want to blow away all my embossing, which it really won't. I mean, it's going to stick to the glue pretty much, but... And then once it starts, I'll try to hold this up so you can see. Once it's hot, you'll see it change from embossing powder. It'll get, you know, you see that? It's starting to change. It's like magic. I screwed that stamp up. I put my finger in it, but that's all right. The handle's going to go there anyway. But this is what it looks like to emboss. I'm sure you guys have seen it before, but just in case you haven't, come on. I'm holding it the wrong way because if I hold it by those things, it's just going to fall over. You just want to heat it until it changes. You know, basically what it's doing is melting. And once you have heated it, I usually go over and just check it, double check and make sure everything got heated. And then it's really important after you're done to let it cool. You can just leave it sit. You don't have to do what I'm doing. Because you know, it's melted. It's like basically melted plastic. And so while it's hot, you can smudge it. So you want to let it cool really well. Cooling. Once it doesn't take long to cool. It's already cool. Once it's cool, then you got your awesome embossing. How sweet is that? It looks pretty. And then, okay, so once you've decorated your cup how you want it, you might want to ink edges. You might want to go down each fold, ink all the edges. You might want to put more decoration. you know, who knows, you might want to put rhinestones on it, do more than what I did. So you know, you do what you want to do. And I showed you in the first one, so I'm just going to put this one together pretty fast because we've already went over this. You put the tape, you put your sticky tape at the top. I'm going to hold this a little bit towards me so I can see. You put your sticky tape at the top, you put it under the first score line, like so. And then you put it on the back of your tab. You fold your tab in and you put the score tape on. Okay. And then you burnish it down because that's important. Use the back of my scissors, especially on the edges, it's important. And burnish it down here. Okay, so then you are going to take off your sticky back. And if you went over the edge, if you've ever gone over the edge with your score tape, you see how that's went over the edge? Just fold it over onto itself because it's sticky on both sides, so it ain't gonna matter. So then you fold down this section over to there, and you don't go all the way, remember. You're gonna leave yourself this little gap right here on this end. And then you're going to take this, oh, take off the tape, duh. You're going to take this, you're going to insert it in there as evenly as possible. And then push it all down, all good to go. Okay, now you're going to, hold on. Now you're going to do your flippy flappies. You do one, you know, opposites. One over the other. So we're going to take this one, burnish it down, take off the backing, and put them and make them like a stop sign. Do the next one. Take off the backing and go across to the next one, and so forth and so on. Whoops, tape's on the other side. I usually take that little piece of tape and stick it there. And then stick my last piece of tape right there. And then I'm going to show you how to make the handle again, which we've already done, but I think I mentioned, because like I said, I did this like a day or two ago, that I had an easier way to do the handle. So we're going to do that. Shoot, where's my paper now? I gotta make sure I have my paper still. Is that the right color? Make sure. Yeah. Okay, I think I did, what did I say? 2 inches. I wanted to show you what's coming up next. What's coming up next? What is coming up next? I have several things. I'm not sure in which order they're coming up in. I lost what I was working on. It was right here. Oh. Here we go. I got some Christmas rosettes. Not sure if you want to see me do these because rosettes are a dime a dozen on the internet. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing any of these. I can do a combo video, do the rosettes, and also show you how to do this adorable rosette snowman. He is adorable and really easy to do, and he could be an ornament. We can put an ornament thing on him, or I'm gonna make a little stand for him so he stands up because he's kind of tall. So he would make a good ornament. He's like right at the size of an ornament. Let me see. I'll measure him. He's at a good size for an ornament, for like a focal ornament, like one of your main ornaments, because he's 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 inches tall. So he's 8.5 inches tall. So he's like a perfect focal ornament. Or to sit like a few of them on your desk at work, or, you know, like on your coffee table. I'm going to have a little stand so that he sits, you know, leaned like that. I'm going to make a little stand for the back. I haven't finished that yet. But I mean, seriously, how adorable is he? And I looked, this is my idea. There ain't nobody else making rosette snowmans, I discovered, because I looked first. I wanted to see if somebody else was doing it. So I actually came up with something on my own. It's been a while, right? So yeah, so this rosette snowman is adorable. So if you're interested in seeing how it's done, let me know in the comments and I will do that. I also have these little boxes I want to do. They're like, they can hold a gift card or a couple gifts. Little gifts like jewelry. It could be a good jewelry box. I also made these, which I'll probably wait till after Christmas to show you. These are made not with resin, but with UD, ultra thick embossing enamel. That's what I use to make these little pendants. We're going to do those after Christmas though. The buttons are actually coming up next. They are going to be the next video because I know I promised the buttons, and I've got the buttons here. Here are the buttons that I did. So those are coming up next. Those are the video I'm going to work on tonight after I finish this one, are the buttons. And then I've also got some Christmas cards that I did, but I can't find them and I don't know what I did with them now. Here's one that I think you guys are probably going to want a video on. I'm not finished with it yet. I have something else I want to put up top maybe. But it's a little shabby chic Christmas tree card. It's the season greetings. It has a little shabby chic butterfly, a couple little trees. I thought maybe you guys would like that. Let me know. You guys got to let me know in the comments because I'm only going to pick what you guys tell me you want to see. So if you want to see me do this tree, this little shabby chic vintage card, let me know. I've also got this card, but I can't show you this card because the stamps for this card were Desiree's when she came over, so I don't have this stamp. But basically it's just an embossed tree with some embossed snowflakes with a piece of music paper, and then it's left blank inside with one of my buttons. So this one's not nearly, you know, it's not complicated at all. If you have some Christmas stamps, you can do this. This one I can show you. So if you want to see this one, let me know. So these are the things I've got, and the buttons. So you guys, I'm definitely doing the buttons. I definitely want to do the snowman. I definitely want to do a box or something, but you guys got to let me know what order. I'm doing the buttons next, so let me know. Do you want to see the snowman next? You want to see the card? You want to see the box? You tell me what you want to see. I'll leave it up to you, okay? I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me fumble with this little cup, which I love. It's so adorable though. It's just so cute. And you know, you can even make, you know, a rosette and put it on the front like that. You can do things like that with it. You can take your homemade buttons and put buttons on it on each panel instead of embossing it. You could do all kinds of things. You could fill it with anything you want. So yeah, so make some of these because they're really fast and they're really easy and they're so cute. So yeah, those are all the projects I got. I definitely want to do this guy because he's just so adorable. I just love him. I love snowmen. So anyway, let me know what you think. Make sure you do what you love. Love what you do. Be nice to everybody. Have a great holiday month. Love you guys.